At its height, the British Empire ruled over nearly a quarter of the world's land and population. From India to Africa, Australia to the Caribbean, the sun never set on its power. But within just a few decades, that empire crumbled. This is the dramatic fall of the British Empire in just 10 minutes. In 1922, the British Empire was the largest in history, spanning over 13 million square miles and governing nearly 500 million people. London was the epicenter of global trade, culture, and politics. Its navy controlled the seas. Its colonies supplied endless resources. But underneath the polished veneer of British dominance, cracks were already forming. The empire was too vast, too diverse, and too dependent on control that was slipping. Nowhere was the tension more explosive than in India. For over 200 years, Britain ruled India through the East India Company and later the British Crown. But in 1947, after decades of resistance, the empire's most prized colony broke free. Why? Because World War II had changed everything. Britain had promised Indian independence in exchange for support during the war. And when the war ended, pressure from Mahatma Gandhi's nonviolent movement and widespread civil unrest made British rule untenable. The partition of India and Pakistan in 1947 marked a turning point. Once India fell, the rest of the empire would follow. World War II didn't just drain Britain's treasury, it shattered its illusion of invincibility. By 1945, Britain owed over £21 billion, nearly 250% of its GDP. The United States had emerged as the new superpower, and the British were now financially and militarily dependent on American loans. Meanwhile, anti-colonial movements spread across Asia and Africa like wildfire. Britain simply couldn't afford to police the world anymore. The empire was too broke, too stretched, and too broken to survive. One by one, the colonies fell away. Burma in 1948, Ghana in 1957, the first sub-Saharan African colony to gain independence. Then Nigeria, Kenya, Jamaica, and dozens more followed throughout the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. Many of these transitions were peaceful. Others, like the Mau Mau uprising in Kenya, were bloody and brutal. The message was clear: the empire was no longer welcome. By 1968, most of Britain's former colonies had achieved independence. The Commonwealth of Nations replaced imperial rule, but it was a shadow of former glory. But the symbolic death blow came in 1956 with the Suez Crisis. Egypt nationalized the Suez Canal, a vital British trade route. Britain, France, and Israel invaded, but without U.S. approval. President Eisenhower forced Britain to back down. The message from Washington? You're not in charge anymore. For many historians, this was the moment Britain ceased to be a global superpower. If the loss of India started the fall, Suez sealed it. Today, 14 overseas territories still remain under British rule, including Gibraltar, Bermuda, and the Falkland Islands. The United Kingdom still wields influence through diplomacy, trade, and culture. But the age of empire is long gone. The Commonwealth exists as a voluntary association of 56 countries, including many former colonies. But it's based on cooperation, not control. And while Queen Elizabeth II was once the symbolic head of state in over 30 countries, today, fewer than half still recognize the British monarch. The empire that once ruled the waves now lives mostly in textbooks and, in some places, lingering controversy. The British Empire didn't fall in a single battle or on a single day. It unraveled over decades, bled dry by war, resistance, and the rise of new powers. Its legacy is complex: railroads and language on one hand, exploitation and inequality on the other. But one thing is certain: empires rise and empires fall. And in the end, even the one where the sun never set finally went dark. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more untold stories from history.